Bring back rock. They were talking about a band you might have missed, what I kind of call a white band. What's a white band? For some reason, we're obsessed with putting the word white in with the band title. We had White Cross, White Sister, Dirty White Boy, White Trash, White Lion, White Tiger, Great White, White Snake. Then it kept on going, White Zombie, White Stripes, just forever. So I know there's some blues and reds, but white we're like obsessed with. So this band is White Wolf from the Great White North. See what I did there? All right, so they called themselves at one point a melodic heavy metal band, which fits the bill. Also, one of the things you can find out there is an interview with Martha Quinn on MTV, and she asks them how they would describe their music, and in unison they, like Jinx, in unison they say rock and roll. Says it all right there, rock and roll. If you like a little bit of heavy rock and roll, you might like this band White Wolf from Canada. Check them out. I'll tell you a little bit about them, play some music samples, and we'll catch up with you at the end of the video. All right, we've talked about a few Canadian bands here, and White Wolf is another one. They formed in 1975 as Slam, S-L-A-M-M, before changing their name to Warrior. Once getting signed, of course, they found out there was a number of bands with the name Warrior, so they settled on White Wolf. Now, I first heard of them via another flexi disc. I never owned the flexi disc, but a friend of mine had it. RCA Records put it out, and it was included in Hit Parader, and they called it a sound card. On the back it said, "Who doesn't love free music?" And of course, now all music's free. You pay a subscription on Spotify, you listen to almost anything you want, and the artists don't make a dang thing. But I digress. So anyway, they said, who doesn't love free music? Well, nothing's really free. They wanted you to do three things. Number one, play this flexi disc, or sound card as they called it, for four other friends and try to turn them onto the band. Number two, call your local radio station. Number three, if you have the bucks, pick up the album. And they said, imagine if you love this sampler, how much you'll love a full album of White Wolf music. So, as I said, they were signed by RCA Music and released the album Standing Alone in 1984. It had two album covers. This meh album cover, not bad, not great, and this totally awesome cover. If you were an early teen into metal, this is a great cover, very mythological. Always kind of made me think of Beowulf for some reason, maybe because Wolf is in the name of the band. Anyway, regardless, great cover. The band was Don Wilk, who later changed his name to Don Wolf on vocals, Cam MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, Highlander reference. Anyway, not sure, but he did play lead guitar. Rick Nelson on guitar, Les Schwartz on bass, and Loris Bolzan on drums. The album did pretty well, actually better than I thought they did in the US. It went top 20 in Japan and did chart on the Billboard charts in the US and sold about 180,000 units in the States and about 250,000 total. When it's time for album number 2, the boys went to Holland to work with producer, I might screw this up, Shellikens. Anyway, he was most famous for producing Golden Earrings album Cut, which had that awesome, huge single Twilight Zone off of it. Anyway, they went to his studio outside of Amsterdam because he was familiar with the studio and he wanted to use that one. And I said they were outside Amsterdam, which is a good thing because they said if they were in Amsterdam, they never would have gotten the album recorded. They'd still be writing it. So away from the distractions of Amsterdam, they recorded album number 2 called Endangered Species and released it in 1986. The album, in my opinion, was a little more commercial, but not a sellout by any means. Still, obviously, you could tell it was the same band. And the production was just more polished than the raw-sounding Standing Alone. The video She was getting airplay on MTV, and the album was doing very well in the US. I heard two numbers for the Billboard charts, 137 and 114. Not sure which one was accurate. Regardless of which number was accurate, it was rising up the Billboard charts when their record company, RCA, got sold to BMG. The band immediately felt unappreciated and unsupported at their new label, so they decided to finish the US tour and then call it quits. Some members continued playing together for a short time before giving up the band for good. The band had toured with fellow Canadians like Kick Axe and Lee Aaron, as well as Australian band Angel City, aka Angels, in the U.S. they were Angel City to avoid confusion with the band Angel. They toured Canada, the U.S., and Europe. Now, I also read they toured Japan, but then I saw an interview with singer Don Wolf, who said the album did great in Japan despite having never toured there. So, that was either bad information I read, or the band had such a great time in Japan, they had way too much sake and forgot the entire thing. The band reformed with Don and guitarist Cam McLeod. The other members were no longer playing. So when Danny had a chance to do a White Wolf album, Cam, who was still playing, was the only original member he called up, and they released the album Victim of the Spotlight in 2007, and still do occasional shows. Victim of the Spotlight continued the same sound White Wolf has had on the first two albums. If you like the first two albums, you'd like the third one. After the initial breakup of White Wolf, Don was in bands Point of Power, Project X, and Bittersweet, like a hotel suite, S-U-I-T-E. He also released a solo album in 1998 titled Making Changes. He has worked with fellow Canadian and producer Bruce Fairbairn. And here's a cool bit of trivia. He did background vocals for the multi-platinum album Flesh and Blood by Poison. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a little bit about Canada's White Wolf. Now, let's hear a few music samples, and I will catch up with you guys at the end of the video. right, so that is a little bit on White Wolf from Canada. Where can you find them? On the streaming services, you can find a live album, and you can find their newest one, Victim of the Spotlight. The album's a little more expensive. You can find the vinyl actually much cheaper than the CDs. The vinyl you can get for around $20 for either one. The CDs I've seen anywhere from like $40 to over $100, so you're going to pay a little bit more for the CDs. I appreciate everybody checking these videos out and commenting down below and letting me know you're out there, sharing them, whatever you do to help. I really appreciate it, and thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the next video.